Rock the boat, rock the boat, rock the boat, baby. This vaccine issue is getting out of hand, and I'm here to discuss it now. Do you really think those nurses are not working? They just give up the career. Where do you think they working at? Stay tuned. To patrice.foster YouTube channel. I'm feeling a little cultural. I went to New York, and you know, if you go to New York, the melting pot, you feel very cultural. Let me tell you, let me show you my outfit. Booyah! Welcome, I've been away traveling. I tried to see what you would like, because you know, YouTube is fickle, picky like me. So I try to see what you would like. Why in the comment somebody has to say, oh, that's not your voice. So I guess you want to see my face, right? Anyway, I wanted to come out here and talk about the people, the nurses that decided that they're not going to take the vaccine. Now, before I start, I don't care about your body. It's your personal choice. I'm not getting into any political warfare or anything. This is me just speaking to you, my fellow nurses and new nurses. An incident happened. See, I only come out here when I experience these issues. So I went, because you know, they paying top dollars for the nurses that decided they are married to multimillionaire. Maybe they have one of those basketball players. Maybe they have lots of money that they don't need to work. They decided they're gonna get out of the field and protest and not gonna have the vaccine. And so this is what I'm telling you, nurses. It's all good and dandy. You get a daisy, you get pizza party. How many people like the pizza party? To be honest, it gives me heartburn. I only like the crust, and that's all I eat, and the rest. So, you see what happened? The hospital you work for so many years. Before, let me just say this. Before we had the crisis, and when we had the crisis, before, it sounds like a riddle, doesn't it? Before the crisis, nurses are mandated. We have to have TB, we have to have all our shots up to date. If we're going to a new job, they do it all for us. Or as a travel nurse, the travel agency, the big ones, may send us to get lab work, drug tests, renew all your shots. So when this crisis came upon us, I knew it. I knew eventually the hospital will impose the first person to get the vaccine, the mandated vaccine, that all nurses has to have it. So like I said, I was traveling, minding my business, listening to the news about all this vaccine. So an incident happened. I was in a facility that, you know, there are hospitals that possible, the nurses who decided they're not going to get the vaccine, they can work. And I'm going to put that video out maybe Tuesday or next week sometime. But it's going to come out. So this particular nurse, a new nurse at that, just got her license and decided to, she was telling me she was very happy. She got her first job and everything was going fine. She got the shift she want, night shift, bless her soul. And all of a sudden, she told me that she's not working there anymore. So I asked, why? You just got the job. You was excited. You had the shift. The money wasn't as bliss as maybe what I'm getting or the experienced nurse is getting. But I think it was awesome for a new nurse. She said, I didn't want the vaccine. I didn't want to take the vaccine. So I quit the job. It's her choice. But I can't get over this. I can't see a new nurse making that decision unless you have something else to fall back on. Now, I'm not saying you should take the vaccine. A lot of people are doing good without the vaccine. What I'm saying is, don't get, how should I put it? You shouldn't think that. Don't try to follow others. You make your own decision. Yes, we know that. But I want to bring it to you. The nurses that say they're not taking the vaccine, do you know where they work in? Maybe their facility don't mandate. Maybe their facility or the state that they work in is mandatory for them to have the vaccine. And they decided to leave the job. Now, I know they're not sitting home. They are working as travel nurses. Now, you may say, travel nurse? How did they get past that if they're going in and working in a facility that is mandated? Maybe you should ask the travel nurse that. That's all I have to say. They're working. They're working. Some of them are traveling to those states, working as a travel nurse. So in hindsight, they're making more money than if they were in the hospital. I've been a travel nurse for a long time, so it's not new. So I understand the decision. I'm, like I said, not here for you to take the vaccine or not. My issue is, if you know that you have a cough, if you know that you're feeling sick, don't drag yourself to work and infect everybody else. And there are some nurses and there are some people who, I understand, you need to pay your bill, you need to that, but your health should be more important. Your family should be more important. Don't come to work. I was on this bus because, this particular agency, travel agency, they bust us to different locations. And the guy behind me, he was just coughing and coughing and coughing. And it sounds very terrible. Like he should have stayed in a hotel. And when you work night shift, people tell you things. And sure enough, yes, he had COVID before. I'm not here to out anybody, but this is my tip for you nurses or anyone who's watching my channel. Keep those masks on. Keep it on. It can be daunting. You can't breathe. I went in the store to buy something. You see the man just sneezing. And other people may not practice because they say herd immunity and all that, when in fact, they're not even protecting themselves. You get what I'm saying? So I wanted to come out. It's a short video to let you know These nurses, they need to stop. They know, okay, I don't have to get the vaccine because I can travel through agency to agency. The agency is not asking me for that. I asked a nurse, you went to Texas. Did they ask you for the vaccine? No, they just gave me a job. They need a nurse. So certain states are not mandating it. But I was in a state, and for some reason I didn't end up at that job. At the time, I didn't feel like going. Not because, and I'm not going to display whether I have it or not, because I'm always selective on the type of job that I want. And if you want to make all those crisis pay, and a lot of these agencies are stepping up to the plate and they want to see proof. Now, proof to me mean you have those cards, right? Ding, 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 those cards. They have the cards too. That's all I can say. Does that mean they have the vaccine? They have the cards too. I always wonder, how do CDC determine who had the vaccine or not? Even if you give them a card, how do they do the job? Go back into the CDC and search and see, does Patrice have a good card or an ugly card or a black card or no card? That's my issue. That's my issue, because you only hear it from me. What I hear on the street, I bring it to you on the low key. I guess if you want the vaccine, it's still available free. But I think when this thing all clear up, we're going to have to pay heavily. It ain't going to be free no more. You're not going to have Johnny or Jacob or Nancy, whose husband is a pharmacy. And it's a true story. I heard my husband is a pharmacist and he gave me the booster shot. Girl, you got the booster shot before everybody? Yeah, my husband brought it home and gave me the vaccine, and I had the booster shot before I came to this job. What did you have? I have. That's all I said. I didn't know he could do that. If you dumb enough to say it, I don't know your husband. I don't want to know your husband, but save it. Save that discussion for another day, Patrice. That's all I did. And walk away. Have a nice day.